Well, pleasant good morning, sports fans. Welcome to another edition of the PR Man and the Coach talking ball on the BallFather podcast presented by Sportskeeda. I'm your host, longtime NFL communications executive Reggie Roberts. And today, sports fans, we have the governor. Special treat today. We have the governor on, and I don't mean Governor Ron DeSantis in the state of Florida. That's somebody that's better than him. Our guest today is a longtime NFL communications executive, five-time winner of the most coveted award in our game, the Pete Rozelle Award. Pete Rozelle Award is presented annually to the top PR staff. This gentleman is smart. He's creative. He takes chances. He's bulletproof, obviously, since he worked for Dan Snyder for as long as he did. Welcome to the program, my good friend, Tony Wyllie. What's up, man?
Reggie Reg, man, I'm honored, man. It's really good seeing you. We go back a long way, bro. We go back a long way.
How long? Let's give our audience a little bit of a history lesson. How long? You and I met each other, what, in the late 1990?
Yeah, I think it was 1990. 1999. I think you were still in Austin. I think you were working in Austin.
I was working
I remember John Wooten brought your name up, and I was thinking about that the other day, man. I remember when I was in LA, I think you and I talked every day. When I was with the Rams, because it was 3-hour difference. I remember as early as I was, I remember you are my big brother. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts. You're my big brother. You're my mentor. And I love you to death. And you really, I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for you. And I'll give you your credit, bro.
That's really
you came into my life when I really needed someone like a big brother like you, and you put your arms around me and you took me on with. I rode you back.
It's very kind of you to say. I was talking to my girlfriend about that the other day about the discussion. You were in New York and y'all were advanced. You were advanced. It was your advance. You were worried about the advance. And I said some things to him that sort of kind of got him going a little bit. Because he was wondering if he was going to be able to do the advance, and I won't repeat what I said, but you got the message.
I got the message loud and clear.
But listen, man. But you've gone on. Senior executive at the Redskins, now Commanders for a number of years. Rams, Cowboys, Super Bowl ring with the Cowboys as an intern. I mean, there's, I just want to talk to you a little bit about the game now from a PR perspective. How it's changed, how it's how different it is from guys who did our job as communications executives. Most of the guys who I talk to now, they say it's still football, but it's not as fun as it used to be. Is that what you're hearing?
Definitely, man. I'm hearing. I mean, it's a grind. I mean, and I don't want to sound like dinosaurs, but we had some time. I mean, the papers would come out in the morning. The newspaper would come out in the morning. You had some time before it hit the public. Nowadays, it's instant. It's instant with the cell phones and videos, and not only that, but we didn't have these 24-hour. Stations that talk about this now. Everywhere you look, people talk. I mean, I feel sorry for the other sports because football's in the news all year long.
The only time we take a little bit of a break is that little period between when training camp ends. It's like a week, 10, 15 days where it's kind of a little bit of a dead period. But I was talking to Mike Smith about this just the other day. He calls it either from August to February, he calls it the football season, and then from February until the season starts over, he calls it the non-football playing season. But I mean, the NFL's been dominating the news since Super Bowl with free agency. Aaron Rodgers going over to the caves, trying to figure out what's going on in his life, to Lamar Jackson announcing this week that he doesn't want to play for the Ravens anymore, to all the coaching changes that are going on. I mean, it's 24 hours, and there's no off season, and there's no vacation time. But I tell you, I tell people this all the time. It was the 27 years I worked in pro football. It was probably the most exciting time because every day was something different. There was no day that was the same. The traveling, the relationships that you made with the coaches, the players, and even the media. It was something that you can't replicate, that you won't ever be able to replicate it, or even I haven't been able to replicate in my post NFL life.
No, I totally agree. I agree with you. But at some point, at our age, enough's enough. I mean, you got to pump the brakes sometime. I mean, we would have totally burnt out, man. I mean, it's full throttle every day. So after a while, you got to pump the brakes and be like, man, let me stop and smell the roses a little bit. Let me enjoy life, because at the pace, Reg, it would have totally got us.
You're right.
I mean, my man Jason Jenkins died at his desk, for crying out loud.
I know. That crushed me. That crushed me. He worked hard. He was a good dude. I miss him, and I know everybody in our league misses him. But listen, this sort of segues nicely with regards to pump brakes. Kind of segues nicely into the Collective Engine, TCE, your new company, sports marketing, sports branding firm founded in 2022 that works with the whole name, image, and likeness college legislation changes. Talk to us a little bit about what that is, what spurred it, and tell us a little bit about how that's going.
Well, it's funny because this really started, this whole NIL thing kind of started in, 94, when I was in LA. I was with the Rams in LA before we moved to St. Louis. UCLA won the national title, and their star player was Ed O'Bannon. And Ed O'Bannon filed a lawsuit because, EA Sports, all these other companies, all these people, he saw himself on all these games and things and didn't get one penny from it. So he filed a lawsuit about name, image, and likeness. That was in 1994. 2021, the Supreme Court ruled on it, and the NCAA spent over $300 million to fight this. So I really kept up with it, and here I am in DC, where the Supreme Court is located. I paid close attention to it. Now, in 2004, Bob McNair, rest his soul, Bob McNair, the owner of the Texans, on the way back from a road trip, he sat next to me on the plane and handed me a brochure to Rice Business School. And I'm like, what is this? And in the conversation, he said, we want to send you to business school. And, I think he said 3 times in the conversation, you don't have to pay for it. So he supported me both financially and morally and sent me to business school, which was really rough because, being outside of school for a long time, but getting into it, but you really get in what you get out what you put in. And I started getting into it. And the class that really did it for me was entrepreneur class. That's where they brought in former students that graduated and started their own companies. And I'm sitting there in class thinking, wait a minute, you mean to tell me a couple of years ago these guys were sitting where I'm sitting, now they're running their own businesses? That changed it right there. And so Reg, I graduated in 2007. I came to Washington, not to join the Redskins, I came to Washington to come to Washington. President Obama was just elected, and I thought, what better place for me to be but in Washington, and to make the connections, and timing's everything. So last summer, after spending some time with Special Olympics, I was like, you know what? Let me jump into this, reach out on faith, and sat down with my wife, and I decided to start my company called the Collective Engine. And the naming Collective is because we work together as a collective with the parents and the families and the athletes. And the engine because we work hard. So right now the engine is cranking. We've only been in business maybe a couple of months. We already have 16 partnerships. I have close to 39 clients. We might have about 250 clients by the end of the year, and it's really great because we're helping young people. I'm able to use the connections that I've made over the last 30 years to really help these young athletes. You and I both know we've seen people, hit the pitfalls and when they get to be professionals. So now, when they're in high school, when they're in college, we really can start shaping their branding. But not only that, help them be leaders. I mean, we do financial literacy, we do character and leadership development, and I'm excited because I'm going to help shape and mold some young people. We're going to grow to have about 40 divisions to represent every NCAA sport. So we're gonna. I think we're on the forefront of this. This is really changing the landscape of college athletics, and it's here to stay. It's here to stay. It's very, we're gonna help young people.
Walk me through, and then you're right. I remember that whole thing with Ed O'Bannon in 1994. It made big news when he said that, because you're right. He was everywhere. I mean, he was on esports. It was everywhere. His picture was everywhere. And he said, do you think were his parents involved, or did he just say, wait a minute, how are they allowed to do this and I not benefit at all from this?
I think he questioned that, and a lot of people raised their eyebrows saying, you know what, he's right, but I would say he's like the Kirk Floyd. I mean, anytime you're going against the system, anytime you're going against the grain, I mean, he took on the man, and that really takes a lot of courage and guts, and I think a lot of people really didn't take it seriously, but I tell you what, they take it seriously now. All these young people need to know who Ed O'Bannon is, because now they're going to be able to capitalize. And keep in mind, people, let me set expectations. Not everyone's making $1 million. Not everyone's going around. I mean, but $1,000 a month for a college. Remember, you in $1,000 a month, $1,500. That's like $1 million when you're in college. So anything that can help you.
College at TSU, what that would have been like? $1,000 a month.
Come on. Are you kidding me?
That has to be 3 months.
Exactly. But not only that, Reg, we also give products. Like we give a recovery products for athletes to be able to take something to help recover. The shoes that we have, and we have a deal where people can wear shoes to help them recover. I mean, those type of things. So what we do is when we sign somebody, we ask them, what brands do you want to be associated with? We want them to be very authentic. So we don't want them to be a McDonald's person when they're Burger King. So that helps us guide what type of brands to go after, because we want them to be authentic, and that helps. I mean, so it's pretty cool to see someone say like Dennis, he's a Popeyes. Our Popeyes kid, that's Dennis Collins. We have him. He has to be the most famous Division II athlete. I had him on Tamron Hall. Every week he's been doing, because everyone loves his story. But the great thing with him, he's from East Orange, New Jersey. He wants to use his platform to help his community. He had a meeting with Popeyes, and he wanted Popeyes to help feed the hungry in his hometown. That's what we're talking about. Using the platform to help your community.
Talk to me a little bit about the financial literacy part of it. I mean, that's a piece, a component of professional sports, not only in college, but in professional sports that I think needs a little bit more attention, because again, as you well know, and I know, we worked on teams where guys played 13, 12, 11 seasons, and they got nothing now.
They can't rub two nickels. There's a guy named Malcolm Briggs, who I've known back in St. Louis. He works with Edward Jones. And what we do is, Reg, I'm going to make something clear. We're not getting accounts. We're not having access to people's accounts or controlling anything. No. It's education. All he's doing is saying, hey, let me let you know what you can do. It's up to them to make a decision, but he's basically just, like I said, literacy. Let you know you can put aside certain money, and by the time you're 30, you might not have to work. If it's snowing outside, you don't feel like getting out of bed, you can stay right there and still make some money. So we basically give it, and something like you and I, when we're in our 20s or we're hitting our teens, I mean, I'm spending everything. So you remember how it was when you were young. So to have somebody pull your coattails and say, hey, you might want to think of this. Right. I tell you what, that's what really is music to the parents' ears, because they, it's one thing, as if you preach to your kids, but to hear somebody else say it, it might start resonating and they might really follow. So it's basically just education.
You'll love this. So there's a guy, when probably 2 years ago, I was traveling, and I was, Reed called me and said, I had a conversation with a guy who's now with, I don't mention his name, but he's an executive for the Cowboys, for pro football personnel executive, personnel executive for the Cowboys, and Chase, and Reed was on the phone with him about talking about an aspect of the business about personnel, and he heard this particular executive talk to him. Same thing I've been saying to him for 5 years. and he starts quoting the chapter and verse, and I'm thinking, well, wait a minute, brain surgeon. But you're right. It takes a village, and he, heard it from a different voice than he heard it. But I'm really, really proud of that you've taken all of your training from working in the NFL, and even from the stint that you had Special Olympics. I want to get into that for a little bit. Tell me, when are you looking for taking all clients? You look for a specific client? You look for big name guys, middle name guys? I mean, what's your process?
Man, the only thing I'm turning out is my collar. The only thing I'm turning out. We have a link on our website where athletes that are interested in NILs, or if they're seeking NILs. I think since we launched, I've had like 25. and I'm going to reach out to all of them. I'm going to sign them. If you want to get an NIL, then we're going to work with you. We're going to work with you because you deserve it. So I don't care. We have a Division II, NIA. As long as you're a college athlete, we're taking. Heck, I have a high school kid that's a rodeo. She's a cowgirl. She's a roper. I have another one that's a cyclist. If you're an athlete, we're going to take you on. We're going to take you on. So I'm equal opportunity.
I like it. I like it. Talk to me a little bit about your time at Special Olympics. When you went to work there, a lot of people in our industry like, why is T. Wyllie going to do that? And everything about you is strategic. It always has been. You always, from work, going to work with the Cowboys, the Rams. There's always, and I said, there's a strategy behind it. So you just hadn't shared it with you yet. That's what it is.
It was an opportunity to run, a global brand like Special Olympics. I mean, and one thing I've learned there, first of all, I'm always going to be associated with them because the passion and the dedication from everyone involved in that movement is very touching. I mean, if you're not touched by those athletes and the movement, then you don't have a pulse. No. And the great thing is I've got to work with some fantastic people. It was an opportunity to I didn't really know about it until it happened, and it gave me a chance to leave the NFL and still be a leader. I was the president of the whole region of North America. So It was a chance to show my leadership skills and work with a strong team. And it was awesome, but really, I really missed pro football. I really missed it at one point. And so I thought, it might be a chance for me to really do something else to get back into sports, and that's when I decided to do the collective engine. But I'm always going to be involved with Special Olympics. Always.
Yeah. When I spent 2 years at Disney before I started, restarted my company, and one of the Disney's biggest, as you know, one of Disney's biggest clients is Special Olympics. There's a lot of Special Olympics programming out at the ESPN World Sports Complex out there at Disney World. We did a lot of that. As we continue to finish, we're gonna finish up here a little bit talking about what TC does with regards to media training. Do you have a media training component with your?
Absolutely. That's the bonus. Number one, not many firms will have a CEO that had 30 years in professional sports as an executive, been on top of that. Being in communications. Again, a part of the brand is how you communicate, both verbally and nonverbal. In fact, I had a call this week with one of our clients who has a big year coming up. He's a team captain, and I basically had to let him know, look, we're going to prepare you for this season. It starts now. We're not going to wait till the fall when you get ready to play. We're going to start preparing right now. And it's great because when you're able to take someone under your wing and kind of mold them, it's all about guidance. Reg, I don't want anyone to ever say, well, why didn't you blank? We're going to prepare our clients. We're going to prepare them on the field, off the field, branding, in the community, everything. We require our clients to have a camp at their high school. Wow. All of them. So they have to give back, man. You have to give back. So as far as media training, that's a big part of it because brands want to be associated with people that know how to communicate. If you want to be connected with a big brand or any brand, part of it is when you have to know how to portray yourself in the media.
We're finishing up with Tony Wyllie from TCE on PR Man and the Coach Talking Ball on the BallFather podcast presented by Sportskeeda. Tony, what's been the hardest thing when you go about trying to put the deal together? Is it the awareness? Are companies now aware that the NCAA now has legislation that's passed that says that we can profit financially or in other ways from the name, image, and likeness legislation? What's been the hardest part to get people to sort of buy in and for you to get the worth, your value from people with regards to this?
Reg, I got one word: relationships.
Yeah,
it's all about relationships. Partnerships are about relationships. So I have to, my whole team, everyone, we have to knock down that door to get in and able to, project and explain what we do and explain to our clients. And it's getting with the right decision maker that really want to hear what you have to say, and it really makes some sense where it's a it's a win-win for both parties, both for our clients and their brand and their company. So the hardest thing really, and you know me, we're people. Once we get in the door, we can close.
It's over. It's a wrap. I was just thinking. I'm thinking you've been doing this not even a year, maybe a little over a year, and you got all these relationships. I'm like, that's not a shock. Based on you and the PR person that you are, it's really not a shock.
Yeah. So it's really just getting in the door, and getting an opportunity. And once that happens, then we're good.
What's your plan? Your 1 year plan, your 2 year plan, and maybe your 5 year plan. What kind of growth would you like to see? What other areas of expertise or other areas you'd like to expand to?
Well, we're gonna, like I told you, I want to have 40 divisions, one for every NCAA sport. Then we're gonna have a Latino division for our Spanish-speaking athletes. We're gonna have a Latino. I think they're underserved, and we could have a Latino division. Yep. And I want to, as far as future expansion, we'll have an office in LA for influencers. The TikTok and fitness and media and chefs. That'll be the LA office. Then we'll be close down to you and have an office in Miami. Then eventually grow to Brazil, where we have soccer. Paris, Rome, and London for track and field. And then China. So the plan, Reg, is to be an international, global firm, and we want to be the one that everyone goes to. We want to be the firm that everyone wants to go to.
Hey, man, listen. Thank you so much for sharing your vision of what you're trying to get done. I'll be looking for my application so I can join. If you hire, I'll be looking for my application. Absolutely. And listen, we'll stay in touch and thank you for spending a few minutes with me on the PR Man, the Coach Talking Ball, and the BallFather podcast presented by Sportskeeda. We'll talk to you soon, big dog.
Thank you. I'm honored. Take care, brother.
Okay, man. Talk soon. Bye-bye.